Hey, thanks for checking out Nuts and Bolts with Tone. Today we're going to talk about money, comfort, leisure in this industry. First, I want to say Sunex Tools, thank you very much for the koozie. It's very nice. I got a little package from them from my tool cart. They really liked how it looked and what I had done with it. And if you haven't seen that, you should check it out. It's a pretty cool video. A lot of cool tools. And anyways, so today I want to talk about, I just recently had to find a new shop. All right, so when I first started in this industry, I went to school about 16 years ago, and I was told every single class, take every license, take every test, take every certification, put it in a binder. Put it in a binder, and that is your resume. When you go to a job, you set it on the desk, they flip through it, and it speaks for itself. So I don't necessarily have a binder, but I live in California. So in California, what we can do is we get ASEs. We can take a smog license, brake and lamp. You can get certifications and lots of other things, but the most important things are ASEs and licenses in California. ASEs are good everywhere. It's nice because when you go to look for a job, it's not a matter of whether you meet their criteria. It's in a lot of ways, it's whether they meet your criteria. You almost get to go shopping, you know, like you do. You go to the tool store and you pick out what you want, what suits you. So really, at that point, it's about money. If the money works, then you get to pick. So. Take every license, take every certification, take those ASEs, even if they're hard, even if we don't pass them the first time. And ASEs are weird because I've worked with a lot of guys that can pass ASEs first try, have no problem, no experience, and pass them first try. When I first started in this industry, I had a really hard time with the ASEs. I'm not a good test taker. I can fix just about any vehicle that comes in front of me. However, I'm not good at taking tests. I used to have to give myself, time to retake it just in case. Not so much anymore, but used to be like that. So take every test, every license that you can. ASEs are good all over the country. You can use them in any state. I have A1 through A9, L1, L2, and exhaust. So I got exhaust because it made me an undercar specialist, which was just another little certificate for the wall, even though it didn't really mean anything. It meant that I had brakes and suspension and exhaust. That's it. It's not that difficult. So do that. Take all those things, and when you go to a job interview them. They interview you. You interview them. Make sure that that's the shop that you want to be in. I was told a long time ago, actually in school, I was told when you go to an interview, if you see an old tire machine, ask them if they're planning on replacing it. If they have outdated scan tools, things like that. So that don't start a job and then, all your equipment's outdated and your machines are old, and ask them ahead of time, hey, are you planning on fixing these things? So you're walking into, a really difficult tire machine or an old, maybe they have the old snap-on brick, and maybe you're diagnosing cars with a thumb wheel Vantage. These are the older scan tools and scopes that we used to use a long time ago before everything got fancy and touch screens and digital graphs. But so because of, so it's you have all your licenses, have all your certifications, you have all that, right? And then you have your tools, right? Whether you have one toolbox, two toolboxes, a cart, it doesn't matter. Whatever you have, maybe you bought all your tools from Lyle, maybe you bought all your sockets from Sunex, maybe, who knows, maybe you didn't, times are tough and you needed to buy some tools. Maybe you have a whole bunch of Harbor Freight sockets. Whatever you got to do to get by. I mean, anything can work, and it can get you by, but do that. Build up your tools, but also soak up as much knowledge as you can. I mean, one of the toughest things that I've dealt with, I was a foreman for 7.5 years, and I would have older guys that had been doing this, you know, maybe 10 years longer than me, and they were having to accept the fact that I was telling them they were doing something wrong, that they were approaching it the wrong way, that, you know, maybe they diagged it wrong, maybe their thought process was incorrect. And that's actually pretty difficult for, you know, some older guys. And it was difficult for me to have to try to figure out how to approach these different people in different ways, you know, because you talk to everyone differently. You know, you can't just talk to everyone the same way all the time. Everyone has to be talked to differently. And that's one of the hardest things about, you know, being a leader or whatever in a shop is, you know, figuring out the way to talk to each individual person, because everybody has a fuse and it goes off at different points. So build up your tools, you know, because, you know, from there, you know, once you go and you interview them and, okay, cool, you have all the certifications, I like them. Excuse me, maybe they like your personality. Okay, great. And then it's a matter of, okay, can they meet the, you know, the money aspect that you're looking for, right? Because whether it's flat rate, hourly, you know, bonus, commission, whatever, however you get paid, you know, here in California, we can't have flat rate anymore. But, you know, a lot of shops do, you know, hourly plus a bonus commission to try to make it like it was flat rate. It'll never be like flat rate, but, and so from there, you know, it's a matter of whether they like your personality, and okay. And then from there, the real test comes in, you know, can you use your tools? I mean, can you really do what you say you can do? Be honest in the interview. Be honest when you go and talk to a shop owner, because, you know, when you talk to if you talk to the foreman, you talk whatever, because when you walk in the door, you know, I just recently started a new shop today, and I told the guy yesterday, I said, basically it's like this, you know, you can tell me whatever you want to tell me, and I can tell you whatever I want to tell you. But at the end of the day, when I walk in here, I'm going to know either you were telling the truth or you were not. And you're going to find out really quickly if I can really do what I said I can do. Can I diagnose the cars? Can I put my wrenches on it? Can I fix them? You know, so, you know, be honest, because the toolboxes have wheels, you know, and they roll both ways. I don't really want to roll my toolboxes out. Well, if you see my Instagram, you see I have quite a few boxes, and it's a lot to move. But I just want to get settled and you know, find a good home. So anyway, so the moral of the story is, you know, money and happiness. And where does that come from? That comes from just get as much as you can. Take as much as you can. I've worked with so many guys that don't take ASEs, that don't get licenses, that don't do anything but just come to work and punch a clock. And I mean, it doesn't take that long to go get an ASE. And if you've been doing this for a little bit, brakes, suspension, you know, some of these ASEs, they're not that difficult. Take some. Hell, if you don't know a lot about the subject, go take the next one. And then you use that as a learning curve, right? How do you know if you could pass engines if you never take it? You never know if engines has, you know, starting and charging system questions. It has cooling system questions about the battery, questions about the water pump. You figure all these things out, and then you figure out what you got to study. And once you figure out what you got to study, you know, for me, it was automatic transmissions. When I first started, I had all the ASEs except for, you know, A2, automatic transmissions. So I was holding off on getting my ASE patches because I wanted to wait for that master tech patch. You know, I didn't want to buy my patches and then have to turn around and buy the, you know, the automatics. And I tried it once and I bombed it really bad. And I didn't take it for a long time. And my shop told me, like, hey, you know, you're the foreman. You're supposed to be a master tech. We need you to take it. So it took me a couple tries to get it, and okay, great. Now I've restarted it. It's fine. But it was a little tricky to get, you know. But, you know, hey, taking the test, that's how I learned what to study. That's how I learned what to go look for the answers. Not because I knew exactly, you know, like one of the times I took it, it was a whole lot of questions about electronic pressure control solenoids. And, you know, it's the solenoid that regulates the pressure for the transmission. And I had it backwards in my head of how it worked, because I don't work on the internals of the transmission, but I had it backwards. So all it was a matter of was remembering. There was like 5 or 6 questions about that. So I had to go figure out how they work. And once I figured out, you know, that it's basically how the operation of it worked, then I could figure out the answers because I knew how it worked. So So take those tests, take those licenses, you know, get that tool cart, build it up, make it look nice, learn how to use your tools, ask lots of questions, and you know, and you can make it. And you know what, man, I don't care how long you've been doing this. Open up your ears, open up your mind. We can all learn something. You know, I learned stuff from younger guys that haven't been doing it a long time, and I learned stuff from older guys, and you know, they learned stuff from me. So we all have our own experiences of how we get to where we got, and whether we worked at the dealer or not. You know, that's the other thing. You work at the dealer, man, take every test, go to every class, you know, and just get everything that you can, and it'll go with you everywhere you go. So, and then the last bit of advice is, don't stop learning. Go to classes. This industry is changing drastically. Take as many classes as you can. You know, once you get to a certain point, okay, the Napa, the O'Reilly classes, the smaller auto parts classes, you're not going to really get anything out of those, you know, once you get to a certain point. But, you know, take those other classes. If you go to a class and you learn one thing, I always take it like this, because now when I go to classes, a lot of classes are geared towards people that don't know what they're doing and don't have a lot of knowledge. And so if I go to a class and I could take one thing home from that class, even if it's just reminding me of a test that I need to run, you know, some sort of test, some sort of data PID, something. It doesn't matter. If I take one thing from that class, then it was a good class. If I don't take anything from that class, this is not a good class. This COVID thing has made it tough. A lot of the classes lately, you know, that I've been to, a lot of the online webinars and stuff, they have not been good. So I don't know what's going on with the classes lately, but anyways, take those classes. Check out my Instagram, Nuts and Bolts with Tone. Just started a new shop. Going to be showing you lots of cool stuff. You know, diesels, gas, check engine lights, just funny stuff. Tools, I like to talk about tools. I have quite a few, and I know how to use them a little bit. And I have a pretty good take on them. And I'll be getting some more. So we'll talk about that, and also hit the like button. If you like this video, hit the like button. If you have a comment, leave it down below. Let me know your story. Let me know if there's something you want me to talk about. Let me know if there's a tool you want to see. You know, you can message me. And hit the subscribe button, and you will get notified when I have another video come out. And I look forward to continuing this and showing you some more stuff. So thanks for tuning in to Nuts and Bolts with Tone. We'll see you next time.